He was the man who conquered the world. A warrior who forged the largest contiguous empire in human history, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to the gates of Europe. He was the ruler of millions, yet in death, he asked for only one thing: total and absolute silence. For 800 years, explorers, archaeologists, and treasure hunters have searched for his final resting place, driven by rumors of untold riches and ancient curses. But they have found nothing. This is the story of Genghis Khan and the bloody, terrifying lengths his followers went to in order to ensure that his tomb would never be found. It is the greatest cold case in archaeology, a mystery protected by a river, a mountain, and a sea of blood. The legends surrounding his burial are the stuff of nightmares. According to the secret history of the Mongols, when the great Khan died in 1227 during a campaign against the Western Shah, his body was carried back to his homeland in Mongolia. But this was no ordinary funeral procession. To keep the location a secret, the heavily armed funeral escorts slaughtered every single living thing they encountered on the journey. Men, women, children, and even animals were cut down to ensure that no witnesses remained to point the finger. It is said that once the tomb was sealed, the slaves who built it were executed by the soldiers. Then, those soldiers were killed by a separate group of elite guards. Finally, upon returning to the capital, those guards were also put to death. The secret was bought with the lives of thousands, creating a circle of silence that has never been broken. But the deception didn't stop at murder. The folklore claims that to hide the physical evidence of the grave, the Mongols went to extreme engineering lengths. One account states that 1,000 horses were ridden over the gravesite repeatedly, until the ground was flattened and indistinguishable from the surrounding steppes. Another, even more dramatic legend, suggests that they diverted the flow of a local river to flow over the tomb, sealing the great Khan forever beneath a rushing torrent of water. Trees were planted to create a forest where there was none, creating a landscape that would confuse anyone who tried to rely on memory. The goal was to return him to the earth so completely that he became part of the mountain itself. For centuries, this secrecy was aided by geopolitics. The area where he is believed to be buried, the Khanty Mountains in northeastern Mongolia, is known as the Ik Korig, or the Great Taboo. For hundreds of years, entering this zone was punishable by death. Even in the 20th century, under Soviet influence, the area was a restricted military zone, unintentionally preserving the sanctity of the site. It is a vast, rugged wilderness of 240 square kilometers, devoid of roads or settlements. Locals in Mongolia do not want the tomb to be found. They believe that Genghis Khan is not just a historical figure but a spiritual protector, and disturbing his rest would unleash a catastrophe upon the world, similar to the legend of Tamerlane's tomb, which was opened just days before Hitler invaded the Soviet Union. Today, modern science has tried to peer through the veil of history without disturbing the ground. The Valley of the Khans project used satellite imagery, drones, and ground-penetrating radar to scan the mountains, identifying thousands of potential archaeological anomalies. Yet, despite the billions of data points and the most advanced technology humanity possesses, the tomb remains elusive. Perhaps the legends were true. Perhaps the river really does flow over him. Or perhaps he lies at the peak of the sacred mountain Birkenkalven, close to the eternal blue sky he worshipped. In an age where we can map the surface of Mars, the final resting place of the man who shaped the modern world remains the Earth's most successfully guarded secret. And maybe, for the sake of history and the wishes of the great Khan, it should remain that way.